we keep bringing you more conversations from this conference organized by Mumbai First, where we are discussing the possibility of Mumbai turning into a mega city. And we have with us now Mr. Jonas Claeson, who's the senior planner, City of Stockholm, and he's come all the way from Sweden. Great to have you talking to us. Thanks so much for taking out the time. Let me start by, understanding, Jonas. One would wonder that there's so much of a difference in this chaotic city of Mumbai, the teeming population, and then you have, a European city like Stockholm, which perhaps is far more planned, where the chaos is less. So what sort of parallels can one really draw?
Well, the parallels is obvious. We want to grow. The city of Stockholm wants to grow and become more dense and more attractive. Mumbai, as a dense city already, with all its potential, needs also to take care of that potential, of course, and of course not grow with its ecological footprint or the CO2 footprint. So I think we have a lot in common, actually, regarding the potential and the urbanization question, which is quite obvious, both in Stockholm as in Mumbai.
I think this is your first time to the city and to India, right?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Okay, so what are the first impressions? Be honest. What do you think so far?
Well, I think it's a beautiful city. As a planner, of course, I see a lot of potential. A lot of underused areas which could be more made more attractive and more for the people of Mumbai. Well, my first impression was of course the nice temperature and weather, different from Stockholm with snow and rain, of course, but a lot of potential I recognize immediately.
Now, the one issue that Mumbai seems to be confronted with is multiple agencies. There's so many different civic bodies here, and then the coordination between them and the time and the red tape. What are the European experiences, and particularly in Sweden itself, that you would have seen? How is governance perhaps easier or better or more streamlined there?
Well, in Sweden, the municipalities have a planning monopoly, and especially in Stockholm, where the municipality owns about 75% of all land within the municipality. We are a strong office, of course, regarding planning. So it's different. However, as a planner, again, we tend to be the spider in the web, trying to interact with all the departments and all the authorities within the city, of course. So it's similar, but as a planning office, you are perhaps a bit stronger in Sweden and in Stockholm.
Does it help at all, I wonder, because there's one school of thought here that says that had Mumbai had its own elected representative running the city or governing the city, perhaps things would have been different. Do you think there is there is merit in that argument?
Yeah, I think so. We also have a public elected mayor, for example, and when the politicians decide upon the visions of the city, it becomes evident for all the departments within the city, including the city planning administration, and all our plans have to relate to the vision for Stockholm.
Which are some of the most dense cities perhaps that you've studied or you've traveled to, and what are the takeaways that you've picked up?
For this trip? Or
not particularly for India, I'm saying around the world, some of the most populated cities and congested cities that you might have studied or you might have traveled to.
Yeah, I think Shanghai have made a fantastic job in the recent years, creating more value for the people of Shanghai. I've studied the city for about a year, and it's also interesting because of the high population density, of course. But they tend to have smart business models to increase value of land and then develop the land surrounding, for example, a park or a recreational area. So they have small scale but smart business models for their planning within the city.
So what do you think really is it that made Shanghai tick? Because that comparison has come up in the past, Mumbai turning into Shanghai, but we know that Mumbai is far from that.
Well, Shanghai has a long Western influence, of course, with its French quarters and the Bund and so on. So I think Well, you need to start somewhere. You need to start with small key projects to sort of lift the city and lift the awareness of people within the city.
What are the most important aspects of city planning for you?
Well, to create a city that my children will live in the future, something sustainable and long term.
So when you think of the key ingredients or perhaps the most crucial elements that should fall in place, is it transportation, is it health? What are the key things that you look at when you're advising on city planning?
The comprehensive approach. I don't think we could plan specific projects or specific specific issues such as traffic alone, such as infrastructure alone. You need to have the comprehensive and holistic approach.
Well, we hope that Mumbai finds that approach sooner rather than later. Thank you so much for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Thank you.